Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where the weight of worry, fear, and doubt can sometimes feel unbearable. Every day we face circumstances, situations, and challenges that seem beyond our control. We are confronted with the truth that we cannot always change what happens to us or around us, but we can control how we respond. It is in these moments of uncertainty that we must learn to let go of what we cannot control. Many of us spend our lives holding on to things, people, events, expectations that we believe we can shape or manipulate. We grasp onto them tightly, believing that if we just hold on long enough, things will change. But the reality is, there are things in life we simply cannot change. We can't control the past, the decisions of others, or the unpredictability of life. We can't control the future, though we try endlessly to predict and plan every moment of it. And when we try to control the uncontrollable, we burden ourselves with anxiety, stress, and frustration. And yet, in the midst of these challenges, there is a great peace that comes when we let go. When we surrender our need for control and trust in something greater, we begin to find rest. Life is full of moments when we are asked to release the grip we have on the outcome and trust that there is a plan that goes beyond our understanding. It's not about being passive, but about acknowledging that we are not meant to carry the weight of everything on our own. There is strength in surrender. When we let go of the things we can't control, we make room for what truly matters: faith, hope, and love. We free ourselves from the burden of trying to control every detail, and in doing so, we give ourselves the space to grow, to heal, and to trust. We learn to focus on what we can do instead of what we can't. We focus on our own actions, our own attitudes, and our own hearts. Life has a way of unfolding in unexpected ways. Often the things we cannot control are the very things that shape us the most. In our struggles, we find strength. In our failures, we discover resilience. In our heartaches, we experience compassion. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means having the courage to trust that there is something bigger than our own understanding, something that works in ways we cannot see. When we let go of what we cannot control, we are reminded that we are not alone. We are surrounded by a love and grace that holds us steady when we feel like we are falling. And though we may not have control over the storms that come our way, we can find peace in the knowledge that we are held through them. So today I encourage you to release the things you cannot change, to surrender the burden of control, and to trust in the journey ahead. The future is not in our hands, but it is in the hands of the one who created us, who loves us, and who promises to never leave us. In that truth, we find the freedom to live with peace, joy, and hope, no matter what lies ahead. We live in a world that constantly pressures us to take control. From the smallest details of our daily lives to the biggest events in our future, we are often taught that we must steer the ship and make every decision. We find ourselves gripping tightly to the things we feel we can control: our schedules, our relationships, our work, and even our emotions. Yet the harsh reality is that there are countless aspects of life that we simply, whether it's the actions of others, the challenges we face, or the unfolding of events we cannot foresee, life is full of uncertainties that remain beyond our grasp. The more we try to control these uncontrollable aspects, the more we burden ourselves. We exhaust ourselves with worry, striving to maintain order in a world that is often unpredictable. The truth is, when we hold on to things we cannot change, we are only setting ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. The more tightly we grip, the more we lose sight of the present moment, and the more overwhelmed we become by the weight of life's uncertainties. Take, for example, relationships. We cannot control the actions, thoughts, or feelings of other people. We may try to influence their decisions, give them advice, or even manipulate circumstances to achieve a certain outcome, but ultimately we have no power over their choices. The more we try to control those around us, the more strained our relationships become. When we let go of this need for control, we free ourselves to love others more fully, accepting them for who they are, without expecting them to meet our every expectation. In our careers or professional lives, we may work tirelessly to climb the ladder of success, believing that hard work and perseverance will always lead to the results we desire. But no matter how much effort we put in, there are always factors outside of our control. Market shifts, economic changes, organizational decisions that can alter the course of our professional journey. When we learn to let go of the need to control the outcome of our careers, we are able to focus on doing our best in the present moment, trusting that no matter what happens, our efforts have value and meaning. Similarly, the unpredictability of life events often teaches us that control is an illusion. We cannot control the weather, the timing of opportunities, or the unexpected challenges that come our way. Life is full of surprises, both good and bad, and no matter how much we plan or prepare, we cannot prevent or predict everything. The more we fight against this reality, the more frustrated and disheartened we become. It is in letting go that we begin to find peace. When we release the grip we have on the outcome of life, we create space for things to unfold naturally, for new opportunities to arise, and for us to grow through the experiences we cannot foresee. Health, too, is an area in which we often feel the need to exert control. We may focus on eating right, exercising, and doing everything right to maintain good health. But even the healthiest among us can face illness or injury. Health challenges are often beyond our control, no matter how well we take care of ourselves. By letting go of the need to control our health outcomes, we can shift our focus to living fully in the present, nurturing our bodies as best we can, but also accepting the reality that we cannot control everything. The act of letting go is not about being passive or resigning ourselves to fate. Rather, it is about acknowledging the limits of our control and finding peace in those limitations. It's about recognizing that, while we can influence many things in life, there are forces greater than us that shape the world. The more we try to control these uncontrollable things, the more we exhaust ourselves mentally and emotionally. Instead of wrestling with the unchangeable, we are invited to surrender the fight and trust in the unfolding of life, knowing that we do not walk this journey alone. When we release the need to control, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of worry and frustration. We allow ourselves to be present, to live in the moment, and to trust that, even when things don't go according to plan, there is a purpose beyond what we can see. Letting go of what we can't control doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting that we are part of a much larger picture. And sometimes it is in letting go that we find the peace and clarity we've been searching for all along. Surrendering control might seem counterintuitive in a world that teaches us to be self-reliant, to work hard, and to take charge of our lives. However, there is incredible strength in letting go of the need to control everything. It is not a weakness or a failure to acknowledge that we cannot control every outcome. Rather, it is an act of wisdom, courage, and humility. When we surrender, we make room for growth, faith, and peace. Letting go allows us to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that we do not need to bear the weight of the world on our shoulders. Letting go of control does not mean becoming passive or indifferent. It does not mean that we stop taking action or striving to improve ourselves. Rather, it means that we shift our perspective. We stop obsessing over the results and begin to focus on the process, the journey. Instead of attempting to control every situation, we allow ourselves to trust in the flow of life and the natural course of events. By letting go, we embrace the present moment, acknowledging that this moment is all we truly have control over. The outcome is not ours to dictate, but our actions, thoughts, and intentions are within our grasp. One of the greatest benefits of surrendering control is the space it creates for faith to grow. When we stop trying to micromanage every aspect of our lives, we make room for trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in others, and trust in the larger plan that may be unfolding. Faith is not something that can be forced or manufactured. It is something that arises when we stop relying solely on our own understanding and start allowing room for something greater. By surrendering control, we open ourselves to the possibility of transformation, knowing that we are not in charge of the outcome, but trusting that things will unfold as they should. When we surrender, we also find a deeper sense of peace. Trying to control every situation in life often leads to anxiety and stress, We worry about the future, fret over the unknown, and constantly strive for an ideal outcome. But peace is found when we let go of the constant need for control. Peace is found in the acceptance of uncertainty. It's found in the realization that not everything needs to be perfect or go according to plan for us to be okay. When we let go of the need for control, we find that life flows more easily, and we experience a sense of calm that comes from knowing we are not alone in the journey. This process of letting go requires trust in the process, in the timing of life, and in our ability to adapt. Life is full of twists and turns, and when we try to control everything, we miss out on the richness that comes with the unexpected. Letting go of control invites us to become more flexible, more adaptable, and more open to the new possibilities that arise. It encourages us to embrace change, to see challenges as opportunities for growth, and to trust that even in moments of uncertainty, we are being guided towards something greater. Moreover, when we surrender control, we cultivate greater resilience. Resilience is not about trying to control every circumstance to avoid hardship. Rather, it is about learning how to navigate through challenges with grace and perseverance. By letting go of the need for control, we stop fearing the unknown and start facing life's difficulties with courage. We understand that challenges are part of the journey, and rather than resisting them, we learn to work with them, finding strength in adversity. In surrendering control, we also learn to practice self-compassion. Often, the desire to control everything stems from a deep-rooted fear of failure or inadequacy. We feel that if we don't control every aspect of our lives, we will be exposed as weak or incapable. However, when we surrender, we allow ourselves to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. We let go of the need for perfection and embrace the idea that growth often comes through trial and error. Surrendering control is an invitation to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, to give ourselves permission to be imperfect, and to trust that we are enough just as we are. In the end, the act of letting go is one of the most empowering things we can do. It is not about giving up or resigning ourselves to fate. It is about releasing the need to control every detail and trusting in the unfolding of our lives. It is a powerful reminder that we are not in this alone and that there is a greater force at work guiding us through each moment. When we let go of control, we make space for faith, peace, resilience, and growth. We free ourselves from the chains of anxiety and worry, and we step into a life of freedom where we can embrace each day as it comes, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be. Life is a journey, and as we travel along it, we often face unexpected challenges and difficulties that we feel ill-prepared to handle. In fact, it is often in our most trying moments that we experience the most significant growth. The things we cannot control, whether they are external circumstances or internal struggles, can become the very forces that shape and transform us in ways we never imagined. These struggles, while painful at times, offer us opportunities to grow, learn, and develop in ways that comfort and ease cannot. Through hardship, we are given the chance to cultivate resilience, build inner strength, and develop a deeper sense of empathy and compassion for others. When we encounter obstacles in life, it's easy to feel as though we've been unfairly singled out or that our challenges are insurmountable. However, it's important to understand that adversity is a universal experience. No one is exempt from difficulties, and in fact, it's often through facing these difficulties head-on that we discover the depths of our own character. When we stop trying to control every outcome and instead allow ourselves to experience the full range of human emotions and experiences, we unlock the potential for personal growth. One of the most profound ways in which we grow through challenges is by developing resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to remain steadfast in the face of hardship, and to keep moving forward even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Resilience is not something we are born with, It is something we develop through our experiences. Every time we encounter a setback or failure, we are presented with the opportunity to learn from it, adapt, and grow stronger. When we let go of our need to control the outcome and instead focus on how we can respond to the situation, we build the emotional and mental strength necessary to face future challenges with greater ease. Moreover, through hardship, we cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves. Struggling with difficult circumstances forces us to confront parts of ourselves we might otherwise avoid, our fears, insecurities, and limitations. As we navigate through tough times, we are given the opportunity to reflect on our values, our beliefs, and what truly matters to us. By letting go of our attachment to control, we open ourselves up to self-discovery and self-awareness. We begin to understand not only who we are, but also who we are becoming as a result of the challenges we face. In addition to personal growth, challenges offer us the chance to develop greater empathy and compassion for others. When we experience suffering, we begin to understand the suffering of others in a much deeper way. We learn to connect with people on a level that transcends judgment and superficiality. When we let go of our need to control the people or situations around us, we become more open to listening, understanding, and supporting those who are also going through their own struggle. It is through our shared human experience of hardship that we build stronger, more meaningful relationships. By embracing our own vulnerability, we become more capable of offering kindness, compassion, and support to others. Another aspect of growth through adversity is the ability to see challenges as opportunities. When we face an obstacle, it's easy to view it as a roadblock, a reason to stop, or a sign that we should give up. However, the most successful people in life are often those who see challenges not as barriers but as opportunities for growth. They approach difficulties with an open mind, seeing them as a chance to learn, evolve, and improve. Letting go of the need to control everything allows us to see life's challenges in a new light. Instead of resisting what is happening, we can embrace it as an opportunity to develop new skills, gain new perspectives, and become more resilient. The process of growing through adversity is not always easy. There will be moments when we feel overwhelmed, exhausted, or defeated, but it's important to remember that growth is not a linear process. Sometimes, growth comes in the form of small, incremental changes that we don't notice right away. Other times, it comes through major breakthroughs that completely shift our perspective on life. Regardless of how it manifests, growth is a natural outcome of the challenges we face. When we release our need to control every situation and trust the process, we give ourselves the freedom to grow in ways we may never have expected. As we move through life, we will undoubtedly encounter more challenges, and some may be more difficult than others. But each time we face adversity, we are given the chance to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. By letting go of our need to control every circumstance, we open ourselves up to the possibility of growth and transformation. We learn to embrace life's uncertainties, trusting that every experience, whether good or bad, is shaping us into the person we are meant to be. It is through our struggles that we discover the true depth of our strength and resilience, and in that discovery, we are able to live more fully, more authentically, and with greater purpose. Letting go of control and trusting in a greater plan is one of the most profound acts of faith we can make. It can be difficult to surrender to something larger than ourselves, especially in a world that often places so much value on self-reliance and individual achievement. Yet when we release our need to control every aspect of our lives, we open ourselves to the possibility that there is a deeper purpose and order guiding us, one that is beyond our understanding and far greater than our own limited perspective. Trusting in this larger plan allows us to face the uncertainties of life with a sense of peace, knowing that we do not have to navigate it alone. Often we find ourselves caught up in the details of daily life, trying to control outcomes, make decisions that will secure our future and force situations to unfold in a specific way. While it is natural to want to shape our lives and achieve certain goals, the reality is that many aspects of life are beyond our control. We cannot control the actions of others, the timing of opportunities, or even the unforeseen twists and turns that life may take. Yet, in accepting that there are things we cannot control, we are invited to trust that there is a greater force at work, one that is guiding us toward the best possible outcomes, even if we cannot see the full picture. When we release the need for control and trust in the unfolding of life, we shift our focus from the outcome to the process. We let go of the anxiety that comes with trying to predict or control what will happen, and instead we focus on the present moment. Trusting in a greater plan means acknowledging that we don't have to have all the answers right now. It means accepting that sometimes the best thing we can do is surrender the need to know the future and trust that it will unfold as it should. This does not mean we become passive or complacent, but rather that we recognize the limits of our control and place our trust in something greater, something wiser than our own understanding. This trust does not come easily. It requires courage, humility, and a deep sense of faith. It asks us to step into the unknown with the belief that we are being led toward something good, even when we cannot see the way ahead. It is a leap of faith to trust that the universe, or whatever higher power we believe in, is guiding us toward the right path, especially when life feels uncertain or difficult. Yet, it is in these very moments of uncertainty that trust becomes most important. It is when we face adversity, loss, or confusion that our faith is tested, and it is in those moments that we have the opportunity to lean into trust more deeply than ever before. Trusting in a greater plan also requires us to let go of our need for perfection. Life is messy, unpredictable, and often does not unfold in the way we expect. If we are too attached to a specific outcome, we can become disillusioned when things don't go as planned. But when we trust that there is a larger plan at work, we begin to see that even the detours, the delays, and the setbacks are part of a greater purpose. The challenges we face may not be the path we would have chosen for ourselves, but they often lead us to exactly where we need to be. Trusting in this larger plan means accepting that our life's journey is not always linear, and that the road we take may be filled with unexpected opportunities for growth, learning, and discovery. In trusting a greater plan, we also find peace in the present moment. Instead of constantly worrying about what might happen in the future or lamenting the past, we become more attuned to the present, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be at this moment. We release the tension and anxiety that comes with trying to control every aspect of our lives, and instead find comfort in the knowledge that the path we are on is unfolding as it should. Even in the midst of uncertainty, we can trust that we are being led toward something greater, something better than we could have imagined for ourselves. This trust also invites us to practice patience. In a world that values immediate results, it can be difficult to wait for things to unfold in their own time. However, trusting in a larger plan requires patience and the understanding that some things take time to develop. The timing of life's events may not align with our own schedules, but trusting in the process means recognizing that there is a reason for the timing, even if we cannot see it right now. We learn to embrace the journey, trusting that each step we take is part of the unfolding of the greater plan. Ultimately, letting go of control and trusting in a greater plan allows us to experience life with greater peace, joy, and freedom. It relieves us of the constant burden of trying to control every detail and outcome. Instead of living in a constant state of worry and striving, we can rest in the knowledge that we are being guided towards something good, something purposeful. Trusting in this larger plan does not mean that life will always be easy or free of challenges, but it does mean that we are not alone in the journey. We are part of a much bigger story, one that is unfolding with wisdom, grace, and love. When we let go of the need to control everything in our lives, we make space for peace to enter. It is a peace that transcends circumstances, a peace that comes from surrendering to something larger than ourselves and trusting that we are not alone in our journey. This peace is not found in the absence of struggle, nor is it dependent on everything going according to our plans. Rather, it arises when we release the constant need for control and instead accept the flow of life as it unfolds. It is in this surrender that we find a deep, abiding sense of calm, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be, even when things are difficult or uncertain. The peace that comes from letting go is often a quiet, internal peace. It is not the kind of peace that comes from external circumstances or from achieving a specific outcome. Instead, it is a peace that comes from knowing that we do not have to control everything, that we do not have to have all the answers, and that it is okay not to know what the future holds. In a world that values certainty and control, it can be difficult to embrace the idea that peace comes from surrender. But when we let go of the need to micromanage every aspect of our lives, we create space for a peace that is more profound and lasting than any temporary calm we might experience through control. Letting go of control also invites us to live in a state of trust and faith. When we stop trying to control every detail, we open ourselves to the possibility that there is something greater at work in our lives. Trusting in this larger plan brings peace because we no longer feel the pressure to manage everything on our own. We recognize that we do not have to have all the answers, and we find comfort in knowing that we are supported, whether by our own inner strength, by those around us, or by something more transcendent. The peace that comes from trust is a peace that comes from knowing we are part of a much larger unfolding story, a story that is guided by wisdom, love, and grace. It is important to recognize that peace is not always an absence of struggle. In fact, peace often arises in the midst of difficulty, when we are able to trust and let go in the face of uncertainty. Life is full of ups and downs, and there will always be moments when things do not go as planned. However, it is precisely in those moments that peace can be most transformative. When we let go of our need to control outcomes, we free ourselves from the constant cycle of worry and anxiety. We no longer feel like we are at war with life itself. Instead, we learn to accept the ebb and flow of existence, knowing that even in the darkest moments, peace can be found in the surrender. This peace also brings with it a deep sense of contentment. When we release the need for control, we are no longer chasing after perfection or idealized outcomes. We stop measuring our worth by external achievements or by how much we can control. Instead, we find peace in simply being, in embracing life as it is, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. This contentment does not mean we stop striving or stop seeking to improve ourselves, but it means that we are no longer dependent on external circumstances for our sense of well-being. We learn to find joy in the present moment, regardless of what is happening around us. As we let go of control, we also become more present to the people and experiences in our lives. When we are not constantly focused on managing every detail, we become more attuned to the needs of others and more open to the beauty of the present moment. Peace arises from being fully engaged in life, from being present with those we love, and from appreciating the small, everyday moments that make life meaningful. It is in letting go of the need to control that we are able to fully embrace the richness of the human experience, both the highs and the lows. Moreover, the peace that comes from letting go of control is not fleeting. It is a peace that sustains us, even in the face of adversity. When we trust in the flow of life, we find that we are able to navigate through challenges with a calm and steady heart. We no longer feel overwhelmed by the weight of uncertainty, because we have learned to rest in the assurance that things will unfold as they should. This peace is not something that can be taken away by external circumstances. It is something that comes from within, and it is grounded in our trust in life itself. Ultimately, the peace that comes from letting go is a peace that frees us. It frees us from the constant pressure to control, to manage, and to perfect every aspect of our lives. It frees us from the anxiety that comes with trying to control things that are beyond our control. It frees us to live more fully, to experience life with all its complexities and contradictions, and to find joy in the midst of it all. By letting go, we discover that peace is not something we can force or achieve through effort. It is something that we can only receive when we surrender to the flow of life, trusting that we are exactly where we are meant to be. In life, we will always face things beyond our control. The more we try to hold on to these uncontrollable circumstances, the more we feel burdened and weighed down. However, in releasing the need to control everything, we open ourselves to growth, peace, and faith. Trusting in the flow of life, accepting that challenges are part of the journey, and embracing the unknown can lead to a profound sense of freedom. It is in letting go that we find the space to grow stronger, more resilient, and more compassionate. We stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow ourselves to be guided by a greater plan, one that may be far beyond our limited understanding. By surrendering control, we create room for faith, peace, and hope to fill the spaces that once held worry and fear. Remember, the path to peace and fulfillment lies not in control, but in trust, in letting go, and in accepting what comes our way. Let go of what you cannot control, and watch how your life transforms in ways you never expected.